Okay, hello guys. Continuing from where we stopped in our last tutorial, we were just trying to look at how we can do a simple layout of our website. So in our layout, we were able to create a header like this, and we created a footer, and we would like to have a sidebar in our content and a main content area where content are being displayed. Okay, so in today's what we're gonna be looking at is how can we create a sidebar. So if you look at our web page, what we have currently is something like this, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna create a sidebar in this area like this, and then we're gonna have the main content area. Now to do that, then the float, what we've learned about the float property is gonna come to play. So we're gonna create two different div, one by the side and another larger one by the side. The smaller div being our sidebar and the larger div being the content area. Okay, so we're gonna create two different div now. I'm gonna say div dot, we'll say sidebar like this, right? And then we're gonna create another div again, say div dot main. So this is gonna be our main content area, and this is gonna be our sidebar. So we have two classes to create. We have the sidebar class, and we have the main class. So I'm gonna just come here, and then I'm just gonna create a dot sidebar, right? So sidebar, and then I'm gonna create another class, say dot main, like this, dot main. Okay. Then I'm gonna style. Okay, let's take a look at what do we have now. Okay, nothing yet. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna give a height. I'm gonna start by giving a height. Okay, the height of the parent div is 600 pixels, so I'm gonna still give the same height of 600 pixels, right? But this width, I'm gonna give it a width of 200 pixels like this. Then let's change the color. I'm gonna change the color and the background color. Say background color should be gray. I'm gonna use gray. Now then I'm gonna float it. I'm gonna float, say float. I want the sidebar to be by the right hand side, so I'm gonna just say no, by the left hand side. So I'm gonna say left, float to the left like this, right? Then my main is gonna be, so now look at what I'm gonna do here now, because the remaining space belongs to my main. So the first thing, I'm gonna float my main. Yeah, I'm gonna float my main as well. I could also as well float my main to the left. One, the height of my main could as well be 600 pixels. Yes, no problem with that. But where there's gonna be problem is the width of my main. I want the width of my main to be 200 pixels less than 100%, right? So if I refresh to really see what we're doing, let's create a h1 here. We'll call it sidebar, and then we'll create another h1 here, and we put in a main. Okay, right now if I refresh my web page like this, you can see that now. So both my main and my sidebar comes in side by side, right? So I can add a padding. So I can add a padding to my sidebar. See padding should be maybe all around 20 pixels, right? As well. Okay, good. I don't have a width. I can as well add okay, let's do something. I can as well add a padding here, so 20 pixels. Then I can give a background color to this guy as okay, let's try tomatoes, tomato like this. Okay, it has a height, but it does not have a width. So you're gonna see it how it really looks like. So this is what we have right now. There's no width. So the width is just what the content requires. The width of my main div is just what it's just gonna it's just the width of the content plus the padding here and the padding to the left, right? So but what I want is that the width of my main should fill the remaining space here, right? So to do that, I'm going to introduce you to a new CSS function, the calc function. So the calc function helps you to do things like this, where you can calculate, say, calc is a function, say 100% minus 200 pixels. So now I know that my sidebar takes a space of 200 pixels, right? But I cannot know the size of the screen because I want my website to display well on all screen sizes, right? So I'm gonna use the CSS, but I know that from left to right of my screen is 100%. That one is clear, right? From left to right of my screen is 100%, right? So the width of my main is gonna be 100% minus the width of my sidebar, which is 200 pixels, right? So that's exactly what the calc function helps you to achieve, right? So if I just refresh this now, okay, good. You're gonna see this. So now, because of some paddings, remember we have some paddings. I have how many paddings? I have 20 pixel here, 20 pixel here. Even for the main, I have 20 pixel here and 20 pixel, all forming what, 80 pixel. So if I add that 80 pixel here, and I refresh my page, you see that? And there we go. So we have our main and our sidebar coming side by side. I can set to put an image. Let's say I can set to look for an image. Let's look for a good image to use. When can I get a good image? Let me see. Ah, pictures. Can we get something in pictures? Let's see. I'm just looking for one good image. Ah, okay, good. Let's use this. I just like banner here. Okay, let's try this one. Let's just put something there. Oh, let's try the sitemap. Okay, so I'm gonna copy the sitemap. I think I open somewhere here. Good. And I'm gonna. Oh, it's already no. Okay, so I'm gonna paste that image here, and I'm gonna just add this sitemap to my page. Okay, good. So here we go. Okay, let's just add image here like this. img src with a sitemap. Site is a sitemap? Is a sitemap? Yeah, sitemap.jpg. So say sitemap.jpg, and then okay, good. Yeah, we save that. So if we refresh that, what do we have? Can we refresh that? Oh, that's big. That's very big. So I'm gonna style this one now. I'll say just for example, I'll say main, give a space, and I'll say image img. So what this is saying is that this style should be applied to an img tag that is inside a main. So I'm just gonna say width 100%. So it's gonna apply it to the image, the img tag that is inside the class main. So it's gonna apply to that. Okay, so I'm gonna just refresh this so you can see something like this. Alright, okay, so this is what we have so far. I can have links coming here, so I can have links here, so I can create a link, say maybe a href index.html, and I'll say home, and I'll add another link, sorry, add another link here. See href about.html, and here I'll say about. Alright, so all these links here now, I would like to style them. I'll give them a class. Say class links or links, yeah. So both of them, I'll give them a class, say class links. Now if you look at links, by default they all have so if we look at what our web page looks like now, this is what the links looks like. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create the class here. I'll call it links, links like this, and then I'm gonna give it the first thing I would like to do is to remove that underline. I don't like it, so I'm gonna say text decoration should be none. Remember text decoration in our previous tutorial about text, we said that the text decoration takes about 4 values. We have the underline, the overline, and the line through. So none as well is one of the values. So by default, links have a text decoration of underline, and so when we change the text decoration from to none, then it removes the underline. That's one. Secondly, I'm gonna change the display to block, right? Okay, so the display, that's how the links are being displayed. So we're gonna look at display in a different tutorial. Then I'm gonna add the padding. Say padding should be top. I want the padding at the top to be 12 pixels and bottom, and then the left should be 8 pixels like this. Okay, so if I do this and I refresh this, you see that? Good. I want to apply a margin, just small margin in between. Say margin at the top, and both top and this thing bottom should be this, but left and right should be 0. Right? So you're not gonna see the effect of this until I maybe give a background. Okay. Next thing is that I'm gonna give a background color to my links now. Let me see what background color can I give? Okay, let's give a background color of white. Say background. So background color, you can also use color codes for your background. Color codes are like hexadecimal representation of every color, right? So every color has its color code, which is a hexadecimal representation of that color. So we're gonna cover color in a different tutorial. Okay, so we'll call this white. Then if I refresh this, you can see these links now. Can you see that? Then if I change, I can decide to change no, I can decide to create another class here now, a hover. Remember when we talk about pseudo classes, links column hover like this, and then I'm gonna change when you hover on it, I want to change the background color to tomato like this. Okay, just when you hover on it, I have something like this. Okay, so this is just a simple layout. This is just a simple website layout. Yeah. So just to demonstrate the power of what CSS. In HTML, you couldn't easily do something like this with this amount of code. If it were in HTML, you will have to use the table, to segment or to create a layout for your website. Okay, so this brings us to the end of today's tutorial. See you in our next tutorial.